Hi, I'm David Shipper, and in this video, I'm going to talk about Quontic Bank and the Quontic Bank payment ring. Some things that I noticed about the bank and the account, some things that you could learn from, and also tell you about my experience with the Quontic payment ring because honestly, I actually think that this is the fastest and easiest way that I've ever paid for anything, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. And be sure to stay around to the end of the video. I'll talk about some things I learned, as well as a real life scenario where something like this payment ring could save your customers or yourself a lot of trouble. So let's go ahead and get started. When you open your account, you have the option of getting a ring sizing kit, which I think is a nice feature of an account, especially with something that's so new like a payment ring. And it comes in the mail, and I've talked about this. It comes in the mail on a little piece of paper. It arrived, it was sent FedEx, by the way. It arrived the next day, so I was able to size my ring and choose my, go ahead and order the ring in the size that I wanted. And what's interesting is Quontic even gave some best practices. They probably could have added some others because I don't know, I just chose one finger, and I honestly wish I had thought about where I really wanted to wear the ring. I chose the index finger, of course, and it looks a little bit strange to me. But they have instructions on the letter that really help you. They tell you to wait till the end of the day before you measure your finger. They want to make sure that your finger is at normal body temperature, and your dominant hand is going to be larger than the non-dominant hand. I mean, they add some nice little tips in here, and they've really thought through the process. But that ring sizing kit, like I said, arrived FedEx overnight, New York to Arizona, within one day. The other thing I really liked about Quontic and the ring is that it's actually a very nice ring. It's heavy, and it's a kind of a cobalt color, which for a man, I've seen men wearing wedding rings that look a lot like this. So it could be a wedding ring if you are so inclined to do that. But overall, I think one of the features is, you could make a ring out of any material, right? You could make it out of plastic, but is a person going to wear that? And I think that they did a very good job at creating something that someone would wear. Now, as you probably understand, if you have rings, then things change over time. You might need to get it resized. My guess is you cannot resize this. I'm sure it has technology inside of it that would be damaged if you attempted to do that, but so what? It's probably unlikely that you will need to resize this before it expires and you need to get a new one anyway. The third thing that I really like, and I'll show a video here of how to use it. They talk about holding your hand like a fist, not like that. No, a fist. And honestly, if you do that, you don't have to pull a card out of your wallet. You don't have to pull a phone out. You just simply need to wave your hand over the terminal, and it picks it up. I have never had an issue with it working. It always seems to work as long as the merchant accepts a contactless payment, which brings me to my last point, is that not every terminal is contactless, and they've thought of this, and they send you a standard card as well. So you receive your standard card. It does have a separate PIN, which is a little annoying, but you receive your standard card, so you have one in your wallet, which can be added to your mobile device, and you have the ring. You have a way to pay no matter what. And I will say that contactless terminals are increasing, so it's more likely that you're going to find one today than if we were looking at this ring 10 years ago. Now I want to talk about a few things that they could do better. So first is, and I mentioned this in the other video, if you haven't watched that yet, it's a little bit more about the product and how to use it, less about the banking side of things. But I'm a little disappointed that there are no checks, and I think that that's something they could definitely work on and add, because if you really wanted to replace a checking account, you're really going to have a limited audience if you don't offer physical checks. The second thing that I'll mention that it was a little bit, I was kind of surprised by, was that I received a FedEx package for the ring sizing kit, a FedEx package for the ring, and a FedEx package for the PIN number. Now, that's from New York to Arizona. if I had sent those same 3 packages overnight, which they all were overnight, that would cost me about $50, about $45 to $50 per piece, which that's over $100. Then you add in the price of the ring, which was, when I opened my account, it was totally free. So they're paying for that as well, and the additional card. And you're in the $150 range or more just to get everything to you. And I think that they could probably pull back on some of those things a little bit, because it's a great experience. You get things overnight, but honestly, that's a lot of money to make up. And an account, even if it's active, might not even make that much in a year. And my guess is that most of the accounts, or some percentage of the accounts anyways, are not going to be active after a period of time. One way they could save here is to allow you to choose your PIN number during the account opening process and remove those PIN mailers. And that would at least get rid of one FedEx package and also one piece of mail, because yet another problem that I noticed was that the ring and the other card that they send you each have their own individual PIN. So that's 2 numbers that you have to remember. You can change those PIN numbers to be something that you remember, but you have to go through that process. And I've tried it. You can make them match if you want. And that is the third thing that they could do better, which is kind of fix that whole PIN process. Let you set a PIN when you open the account for both cards if possible. Not only it would save them money from having to send those PIN mailers, but also it's just a better customer experience, because an assigned PIN, which is what you get when you get the little mailer that has the 4 codes, the assigned PIN is very difficult to remember, and most people will either forget them or end up changing them anyways. The fourth thing that I believe they could work on, they have 3 different checking accounts. One is a high interest checking, which at the time of this video pays 1.1%. My guess is with the way rates are changing, that might actually go up a little bit, but still a strong checking account rate. The other is a cashback, 1.5%. Again, very strong, stronger than any other checking account, probably any other debit card that you're going to find out there, 1.5% cash back. And then the other is a 1.5% back in Bitcoin. And that's the account I opened, which is really cool. And when I make purchases, I get an email with a PDF that shows what I've earned. But the problem I have with it is I still have not figured out how to access that Bitcoin. It's not available on the mobile app or on online banking, or at least I couldn't find it. The letter comes with a phone number that says call Quontic Bank. And I did ask somebody, I did call and ask about that, but the person who answered was their after hours support and didn't really know. So I think that they could just work a little bit better on making that Bitcoin accessible, or at least giving some way to look or view what I have in Bitcoin and if I'm able to transfer it out or anything like that. And again, along the same lines, when I talk about 3 FedEx packages and what that must cost, and the free ring and the extra card and all the costs that go into that, also giving 1.5% on a debit card is generous, very generous. In fact, because a debit card doesn't make that much off of interchange. So, all of these kind of tell me that the checking accounts must be some type of a loss leader, because it's going to take at least a year, maybe a little bit more, with all that they're giving away to earn that money back in interchange income and other income. Which brings me to my last point, which is cross-sell. I do receive emails from Quontic Bank. They have other accounts. They have savings accounts. They have mortgages. They have other types of accounts that you could open, which they could generate money off of income to offset everything they're giving away with this checking account. So if they're bringing you in with the checking account and with the very, very cool ring, then they're cross-selling to you. But I will say, and I've opened a lot of accounts and really paid attention, they're not very aggressive at promoting those other accounts. I'm not saying that I don't get emails or communications from them, because I do on, check out this other type of account, or if you need this, let us, help you with that. So they are doing some marketing, but it's not very aggressive. I could probably count on one hand how many emails I remember getting from them. Where I won't, name names, but there's some other online only banks where I get an email from them all the time. It's almost annoying how many emails I get, but it really it reminds me that they're there. It reminds me what kind of products they have. So I think that Quontic could do a little bit better job of cross-selling these new accounts that they're opening into some other type of product. Mortgage might have seen its day, and refinance might not be so hot right now considering rates, but there are other products that they have that they could be selling that their consumers may need. And that's a suggestion for any financial institution or online only bank trying to gain customers. It's great when you get them in the door, but you really need that second or third product. You really need them actively using you for as much as possible so that you maximize the revenue. And so finally, if you are a banker, you're a financial institution, you're a product manager, you're someone that, has ownership or some involvement from the business side or even from the operational side for payments and debit cards, here's a few other things that I noticed that might be helpful to you. So first of all, I mentioned the Bitcoin rewards, and that is, cryptocurrency rewards is something that a lot of financial institutions and online only banks are really investigating right now. A lot of rewards companies are looking at how they can offer this. I'm hearing a lot of people say, or, within the industry, a lot of banks and credit unions are asking, how do I reward in cryptocurrency, or how do I do this? So the company, and I'll put a link in the description, the company that you can check out is NYDIG, NYDIG, and they're the company that Quontic is using to offer these Bitcoin rewards. So I would check them out. Cryptocurrency rewards, Bitcoin rewards, it's something that people are asking for, something that people want. And so I would definitely check out NYDIG and see what they offer and how they might be able to work with you. The other is the payment ring itself. This is cool. And I love what Quontic is doing, and I recommend anyone interested in the fastest, most simple way to pay should go and open a Quontic Bank checking account and use this ring and really see what it's about, because it's pretty amazing and simple and fast. The company that, you get this little box that the ring comes in, the company to check out is McClear, MCLEAR. I will also include a link to McClear below in the description so that you could check them out. My guess is they could work with anyone, and this is a MasterCard product, which is pretty interesting. If you look inside of this ring, I'm not going to be able to get a shot of it, but if you look inside the ring, it actually has a MasterCard logo. Very cool, but I think McClear would probably be able to work with anyone that was interested in offering this product. So if you think, okay, well, I might not be able to offer it to everyone who opens a checking account, you could potentially offer it as an upsell, something that you offer for a cost. I would have been willing to pay for this. I think a lot of people would be willing to pay for this as an add-on to their account. And my guess is you could make a little bit off of it either as a one-time fee or as a monthly fee to regain some of that or capture some of the cost that you're going to pay for sending this out. Considering, not only do you have that, but you have the ring sizing kit that you might want to add. There's costs that go into doing that, so you need to recapture some of that, and it could actually be another revenue stream for you as well. I assume that you will have to, it'll basically be a secondary debit card on that account. My guess is the reason that they send you a physical card with a different card number is because you can't have the same card number on both of these. So something to pay attention to, it would be another account number, but or a debit card number, but definitely a great feature to have. And like I said before, this is a very convenient product. And one last thing that I just want to clarify is I kind of talked about the FedEx packages overnight where they could save money. My guess is they're spending $150 or more to capture a new customer with all of those mailings, everything that they're sending out. Not to mention the 1.5% back that they're giving you. So there's a lot of costs in all of that. But to be fair, a lot of financial institutions spend a lot of money to acquire a checking account customers. a checking account customers. You know what I mean? If you go to a local bank or a credit union, many of them offer $100 bonus if you open a checking account and, maybe get a direct deposit. To be fair, that $150, $200 or whatever they're paying to get that new customer and get the ring and get everything to you might actually be in line with what other financial institutions are paying just in a cash bonus to get you through the door. And my guess is that probably can be gamed more than, this ring. People aren't going to game this ring just to get a ring, but they will game a cashback bonus. And a lot of financial institutions see that. That's why they put so many hurdles in place. Get a direct deposit, have the account open for 3 months, make 10 transactions. There's a lot that they put on that. But to be fair, the 150, 200, whatever Quontic is paying to acquire a new customer is in line with what other financial institutions are paying to get a new customer as well. So overall, I will say that the account is good. And I'll leave you with one more thing. One more thing to explain the value of this ring. Imagine for a moment if you're traveling and plan to spend the day at a pool. You could bring your wallet or your phone and you could keep that nearby, but you can't bring that into the water. You can bring this ring though. So instead you leave that phone and your wallet on one of the chairs outside of the pool, but you know that criminals could be lurking in the bushes and waiting for you to go underwater. And at the right moment, they could take your wallet and your phone that you left on the bench to keep dry. Criminals could be everywhere, but you can't bring your wallet or your phone into the pool. And you never know what they're going to look like either. They could look like anyone. But if you watch everyone around you, you know you're not going to have any fun. And then you get out, you notice your stuff is gone. And while the detectives are working hard to crack the case and arrest the criminal mastermind behind this theft, you're left without anything to pay with unless you're wearing the payment ring. The waterproof payment ring that you're wearing on your hand can be used to make payments while they're finding your phone and finding your wallet, or they never find it because you left it in your room or you left it somewhere else because you know you don't need it because you have the payment ring. Something to keep in mind. The Quontic payment ring, watch my other video if you haven't already. I will say this is the coolest payment device I've ever used. Absolutely fastest, coolest payment device I've ever used. I have to hand it to Quontic Bank for offering this. I love the account. There's some things that they could work on, of course, but that's with everyone. Overall, I have to give them credit for what they've done. What do you think? Is this something that you think you would wear? Do you think, if you're a banker, do you think this is something that your customers would appreciate? Put some thoughts down in the comments below. Until next time, I'm David Shipper. Just get me the Happy Meal with the chicken nuggets. I really just want the toy. And they have those little juice. Oh, hey, what are you still doing here, weirdo? Look, if you're still watching this, then that means that you either fell asleep or you liked what you saw. Either way, you need to subscribe. So I think there's a button around here somewhere. Click that button, subscribe, so you'll be notified when I publish new videos. Stay in touch. Until next time, this is David Shipper, and I don't know.